Second story of the day is about Bird Box. I know I'm about to make people angry here, probably lose half my audience. And what's his name? I forget his name. He was already yelling at me earlier for Bird Box. It's a phenomenon. They got the Bird Box challenge on social media. I'm here talking about it. Starring Sandra Bullock, one of the biggest Netflix premieres, television show, Netflix Fusion. I don't know what the kids are calling them nowadays. It's the biggest one in a while. And I read the plot and people were telling me about it. They're like, yeah, I watched the whole thing. And I was like, what's it about? And they're like, oh, it's about a bunch of people mass committing suicide. And you gotta like blindfold yourself so you don't see something or the evil thing. And then you won't kill yourself. And I was like, does that creep you out a little bit? Like, is anybody creeped out by that besides me? Like, I don't watch TV. I don't own a Netflix. Once they gave a big deal to Obama, I just canceled my account. I was like, I'll pass. I'll watch YouTube videos. But doesn't that creep you out? Like, I'm not saying it's not a good show. I know someone's like, anomaly, lighten up, man, you snowflake. I'm not here I'm not the FCC saying, cancel Bird Box immediately. It's bad for the community. Like, you could watch it. You could read it. You could, act it out. You could do a dance on social media. I'm not here to end the show, and I don't have the power to do that. I have 1,000 people in a live stream. No one really cares. But it's creepy to me. The last couple of shows, you have Bird Box, which is like, hey, everyone's killing themselves. And then I look around in the real world, and everyone's killing themselves. We have a mass suicide problem, not just a veteran suicide problem anymore. It's a huge suicide problem. And you have mainstream sources who aren't even trying to curb that problem. Someone, I forget who it was, if it was Axios or someone else, I can't say for sure. But I'm reading and they said, suicide's going to be at an all-time catastrophic high by 2020. So they're already telling you that people are going to kill themselves a lot in 2020. Like, how do you know that? If I'm the president or I'm the news source, I'm going to be like, guess what? We have a suicide problem, but I'm going to try to make it better. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hope that in 2020, people don't kill themselves as much. Like, is that crazy of a thought? But they're like, no, just watch the Suicide Show. It's really cool, it's fun, it's thrilling, it's got Sandra Bullock. You could watch a show about people killing themselves while people are actually killing themselves outside your house. And then we're going to tell you in 2020 that people are going to keep killing themselves at skyrocketing rates while we're doing nothing to prevent the cause. We're going to put up billboards that say, have you thought about suicide? And we're going to pretend like that's suicide prevention, but it's actually suicide promotion. You're saying, have you ever thought about killing yourself? And you're like, not until I read the sign, really. I mean, I never do, but people do. There's a lot of mental illness problem. There's a lot of drug problems. And what are all the big shows? I'm just being honest. Walking Dead. It's about a zombie apocalypse. So now they've kind of, TV'd in the zombie apocalypse. Okay, that's cool. Breaking Bad. No big deal. Just the heroin addict dealer, or I don't think he's an addict, but dealer who's, has a little meth lab or whatever. And then we have a huge opioid and drug problem. It's skyrocketing. People are watching shows about drug dealing. Yeah, I get it. You don't watch the show and want to do heroin. I'm not saying that. Just hear me out. It is the manifestation and the slow rollout to being a zombie. It's like, okay, now we are in the zombie apocalypse. We've manifested the Walking Dead, where we're walking around, people are murdering themselves at skyrocketing rates. They're brainwashed by media, can't do left from right, up from down, nothing exists anymore. Drug overdose to the 20th degree, and suicide's rising. And let's roll out the Suicide Show. You know what I'm saying? No one will think twice. They'll call Anomaly a snowflake. They'll watch it. It's got Sandra Bullock, and no one will think twice about it. Me personally, you can do what you want. I'm not perfect. I have my own flaws and sins for sure. I don't watch any shows like that. I don't watch horror shows. I don't watch murder shows. I don't watch horror movies. I don't watch murder movies. I've seen horror movies. I'm not like a stick in the mud or anything, but you won't catch me alive. See, I changed the wording there. You won't catch me alive watching Bird Box. I'm not going to watch a show about suicides while there's hundreds of thousands of young kids killing themselves all the time. And a large reason, before I move on, I'm not blaming Sandra Bullock or Bird Box, but a large reason that suicides are on the rise is because they've, destroyed the family unit where men don't know if they're men, women don't know if they're women, men don't want to date women, women hate men in the mainstream movement. They can't figure out, they're yelling at each other. They're destroying classic stability, which is like appreciation, gratefulness. For some people, that's religion. For others, that's spirituality and maybe a healthy mindset. they're destroying all elements of that. They want you in a constant state of fear. If I watch CNN or I read Washington Post or I read New York Times, they never make, and I'll even throw Fox News in there, although I think it's better, but it's all really fear-based on Fox News. That's why I'm not a big fan. It's not that I don't agree with some of their politics, but I don't live in fear. That's one thing that Kanye says people don't understand. Live in love, not fear. I'm not saying to go hike in the Morocco mountains and get killed by ISIS. I'm not saying to be that sort of liberal, but I live in love. I don't live in fear. I don't make decisions off of fear. I don't let fear seep in. Fear doesn't exist. Hate, negativity, all these stuff. But you watch these shows, they scare you, they plant these ideas in your head, so you're comfortable with fear, you're comfortable with suicide, the idea of people committing suicide, you're comfortable with hatefulness and all this, and then you're easy to manipulate and control on either side of the political debate because you have all these negative chips in your head that they can then control you by. If you don't have fear, if you don't have hate for yourself and all of these bad vibes, and if they haven't knocked down your confidence level, like, that's why I tend to lean right on a lot of things because, one, they don't steal my money and freedom, but also it's like, we love America. We love the country. We're proud. It's like the other side. It's like, we hate America. We hate ourselves. We hate the people here. We hate this. We hate that. We hate the idea of security. It's like, man, you're easy to control when you're that negative about everything. Outside of politics, what changed my life was a grateful attitude, a positive mindset, stopping playing the victim, even in myself. Oh, she has more, he has more, he has rich parents, he has connections, she has connections. I used to do that when I was 19, 20, and I stopped doing that, and I was like, wow, I'm very fortunate. I might not have over $1,000 in my bank account, but I have food, I have water, I have shelter, I have a cell phone. I have the opportunity today in this flesh to create something, and I live day by day by day by day, and I changed my whole world. And that's the exact opposite of what they preach on social media. So when they roll out this show called Bird Box about suicide, I'm not blaming that whole show, but I'm telling you, the media complex, the televisions, the celebrities, the politicians, the cell phones, Apple, Google, Facebook, Twitter, they're rolling out not the positive mindset like they act or claim. They're rolling out the liberal agenda and a negative mindset. Hate everything that Trump does. Hate your own country. Hate your skin color. Hate those people of that skin color, but pretend like you're actually a social justice warrior. Do the opposite of what Martin Luther King said and act like you're righteous. And these things start to take a toll. They promote medicine all the time. I'm not saying that medicine's not good, but there's like mainstream Twitter news feature section. They're like, why pills get bad press. It's like why they're so good for you. It's like they don't tell you to go for a hike or maybe change your diet or, get some sunlight, change your friends before you take the pills. They throw you into these, suicide pills. They get you comfortable with all these creepy ideas. They roll it out in millions of ways, whether it's, movies that they direct and write, whether it's television shows that they promote and endorse. And then they sit back and watch the show, as some would say. People kill themselves, drug overdoses, a country gone insane, a school system completely out of control. You can argue or complain about all of the ills that we do actually suffer, but overall, it's like it creeps me out a little bit that no one at least kind of processes this stuff. Like I said, move on to the next show. I'm not just knocking this show. This show's not fully responsible, but it's just like one piece of the puzzle. I just feel them moving. I've seen them go. There's a good this is a little unrelated, but I seen a good meme. It said when we were 1990, it was like, don't let them, like, don't do this. They'll tap your phone or something. And then it was like 2018. It was like, hey, wiretap. Like, do you know where I could get pancakes this morning? Like, knowing that you're getting tapped. And it's like, essentially, that's kind of how they move. Slow. They normalize everything to the point where it just seems normal. And then I say this and people say, oh, you're just a buzzkill. It's like, because what you think is normal is not really the natural state of the world. But enough of me being an old grandma or grandpa. On to the third story.